Hey everyone, here's another impromptu video about Genshin since MiHoYo just made another spontaneous post about updates. So first of all, I've linked some gameplay featuring the event from the past, because they had it once during the closed beta testing. So in the description there's a link to that if you just want to skip right to that. There's not really much you're missing, I'm mostly just talking about the post they made. But first things first, Elemental Crucible. There's a co-op event. Unless I missed something, this kind of just came out of nowhere. They had made a post earlier, which I have a video on, about the future updates, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have update 1.1 November, so I was looking forward to that, and then all of a sudden they're just like, hey, so we're also gonna have this co-op event where you can spend your resin to get some XP books and do co-op stuff with friends. So, kind of just came out of nowhere. But I just wanted to highlight a few things about the post to sort of summarize what the event will be like and what you can get out of it. So before I go over the actual footage and explain what I'd noticed in the original footage, I basically just wanted to talk about the post itself and the things that I found from the actual text in the post. So first things first, you're going to have to spend resin on this event, which kind of sucks. It's unfortunate. But at the same time, hopefully the rewards are good enough to make it worth using your resin on the event. But aside from that, what you'll receive from the event is a bunch of character XP materials, as well as adventure XP, which is pretty exciting. So it's not like you're just wasting your resin, you will be getting adventure XP. Another thing that's important to note is that there are achievements. Which is interesting because that means more primogems, which is really good for free players because, more summons. So it's definitely worth doing. If you're not aiming for the XP, at the very least, do it for the primogems. On top of that, they also say you'll get some character ascension materials and more. So I'm curious to see if there are any, interesting rewards or if they're all just basic things. Either way, I'm happy because free primogems, I'm not going to complain. Another important thing to note is that in order to participate in the event, you have to reach adventure rank 20 or higher. So that's kind of important because last thing you want to have happen is you haven't completed the quests in the prologue, Act 2, and the event starts and you're just like, well, I can't actually participate in the event. So just make sure before the event starts, which I believe it starts on the 12th. Just make sure that you reach rank 20 and also do all the quests required, because you probably don't want to miss this event because you're basically just missing out on free primogems. Now moving on to the actual gameplay, which unfortunately I don't have any recorded gameplay, but like I said, I've linked gameplay from the closed beta in the description. So if you want to leave this video open and also play that at the same time, I'll just be talking through generally the things that I noticed. So, first things first, you essentially invite a friend, or I believe there's also matchmaking for it as well, so you could just pick up a random, and you activate this shrine thing that asks you to pick up these elemental cubes and deliver them to the center to progress. And it seems like you have 15 minutes, not sure if it's always 15 minutes, or if it was just during this temporary event, during the closed beta. And essentially, you're just killing enemies the entire time to pick up these cubes. And there's also periods of time where the event itself will say, oh, you've been inoculated by this element. And then that means you basically want to pick up a specific element's cube, because it'll progress your tower in the center further. And essentially, you just want to be killing the larger enemies, the elite enemies, to get more cubes. And as you progress, it'll occasionally have those temporary events that, increase a certain type of cube. And so you pretty much are just fighting off waves of enemies while delivering these cubes to the center. Another thing that I've noticed is that it seems there are certain sections of the progress bar that have some sort of diamond or cube icon. And it seems like whenever you reach these, it spawns a bunch of elite enemies, so either Ruin Guard or one of the giant shield dudes. So I guess that it could be random each time, or maybe it's like a set time that it sends them in. So expect to fight some big enemies whenever it reaches those points. Another thing that I found really interesting was the fact that it says bounties will be calculated based on each traveler's individual world level, which is kind of neat because it doesn't just go by whoever's game you're playing in, it actually is by like your own game instead, which I think is neat because it kind of sucks when you just want to play with friends and you join someone's lower level world and then get punished for it. So it's nice that it actually is based on each person's level. Once you've completed the progress bar, you basically just go to the center crucible and you can claim the reward, kind of like you do with ley lines and bosses and all that stuff. And it'll drop out your XP books or whatever rewards you get from it. So the interesting thing about this is you might be able to just grind for the achievements without actually spending your resin. So on the off chance that you just absolutely do not want to spend your resin, or if you're just out of resin, you might be able to go to the crucible in the center and just not claim the rewards and just activate it. So that would be kind of neat because this way you could farm for the achievements, get the primogems, and also not have to spend any resin as well. That's it for today's video. I'm looking forward to this event since I've been dying for more co-op in this game, and there's really minimal co-op at this point, so it's nice when they add anything at this point. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.